me, everyone here, we're all family. So you guys kind of, some of you have watched me grow up, right? During this process, and it's been wonderful actually to see some of my team members do that as well, right? That was more of what really what I'm really grateful for this platform is watching my team members transform from, you know, people who were shy, people who could not really talk to people or even have the confidence to walk, you know, to even start a conversation with people. And now, I mean, they go around and make friends in 5 minutes, right? They go and they talk, and they're always bringing me stories of this person and how they met this person. And I'm just amazed at what this program has done for not only myself but my team. And so first and foremost, before I start this call, I want to make sure and thank Mr. and Mrs. Bean for their continuous effort in helping us grow and putting things together that we need, not just in business, but in life in general. When you say 360 degrees, they are the prime example. They live by that and they teach that. And so, you know, I like to stay close to that fire, right? So that I can burn too, right? So let's go ahead and get started on this. So for those who this is your first time taking a look at this, what we usually do is we reflect on the week. The Grant Cardone program has helped numerous people, right, in sales, right? In sales, it's a uh, sales is a profession that a lot of people shy away from, right? Because they feel like they're not they're not outgoing enough. They're not, you know, they're not enough to do the position, right? And so Grant Cardone put together a program that has been helping him and his team grow to the financial attitude that they have, right? So now they've compacted in a program for people who, without any sales experience, could come to be a six-figure a year, seven-figure type of salesperson, right? And so Mr. and Mrs. Bean 3 years ago introduced this platform and to help us understand that that sales is not a bad thing, right? It's what we don't know about it that really is the reason why we actually are limiting ourselves to the potential that we can be, right? And I saw that for myself, that sales is not bad. It's our experiences that lead us to limit ourselves in it, right? So when you break those bonds, like you will once you dive into these sessions, right? Just like anything you do, education is key in order for you to move forward in anything, right? And so this is where Mr. and Mrs. Bean have put the education in, where we're going to start now, because the people that are able to be in this program right now have had a lot of modules and are able to be on live rally calls throughout the week and are able to see how to, you know, how to maneuver in that side and how to take their income to exponential levels. So let's go ahead and get started on our reflections for the week. So who wants to be the first? Oh, Miss Laura, I knew it. Hands up first. What would you like to share about the reflections for the week?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for number one, being in place to be able to host us on today, and for us to have an opportunity to get the wealth of wisdom that you have acquired over a period of time, and particularly in the last 3 years with the Grant Cardone program. That's number one. And number two, I'm so grateful to our senior partners, our senior investors, Mr. and Mrs. Bean, because they did provide us with this platform, and it is allowing us to have an opportunity to grow and develop in a very special way. So one thing that I took away this week was um, I was on the rally call with Big Brother Dave, and one of the things that he shared on that rally call was to study personal finances and the wealth creation formula. So, I thought that was interesting. And so, of course, I dove into the modules and I began to go through those modules. And I am telling you, those modules were electric. For me, just like you just said, Angel, about this is life changing. It's life changing information because it began to mold my thinking around money and how you attract money. He said it doesn't take you knowing everything. That's Grant Cardone. To get rich. He says what it takes is courage and knowledge. Okay. And then he gave a definition of wealth, which, you know, I think it was the best definition that I have ever heard. And he said that wealth is the abundance of something in such surplus that no condition can destroy it. And I was like, wow, yep, that's it. No condition can destroy it. And he also said that, you have to pay attention to your money. Sometimes in the world that we have been raised in, we don't like to focus on money because, we are afraid of being called greedy or that it's like a sin sometimes, that if you're focusing on money, you're not focusing on your spiritual development, and that doesn't have to be true. But he says money takes attention because it gets bored. That was his words, that the money gets bored. And if you don't pay attention to it, it's like a jealous lover. It will travel somewhere else. So, those were just a bunch of perspectives that I received this week in studying that particular module, which wasn't directly related to sales and the activities that we do in sales, but it's directly related to the mindset that we have to have in order to do sales. One of our rally coaches always says, who's got my money? Who's got my money? Go get your money. So I think that's what I'd like to share for this week. It was just a phenomenal module, and I suggest that everyone go and study that module. It's called Money Basics.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Miss Laura Johnson. So I love what you just said, the personal finance module. I just put a note too to go ahead and take on that as well, right? And then I love what you said, when you quoted him, courage plus knowledge, right? Because a lot of times we have a lot of knowledge, especially for us greens, right? We love knowledge, we love researching, we love all this knowledge, but knowledge without courage to do something, action, then it's just knowledge, right? It's just a book sitting there, right? And unfortunately, what I learned as I'm growing in this platform is that how many people have so much knowledge, but they've never done anything with it, right? How many greens have, and not to say it because, to be honest, the last 2 years of my life, I've battled a lot of health conditions. And so I'm thinking, how many greens, have gone to their grave without doing something spectacular, because with all the knowledge they had, they never took that first step of courage to do what it is that they dream of, right? And so that is in itself is it's a huge thing. So thank you so much for sharing, because a lot of us think that knowledge is power, but no, it's not just knowledge and the courage to take action, right? And so that's a huge thing. Thanks for bringing that out. That's a great thing to open up this, right? Is that we need knowledge, but we need courage to take that first step. And then And I love that analogy that you just, shared with the money. Money needs attention. Anything that you want abundance of needs attention, right? You want good children, they need attention, right? Everything, including money, needs attention. So when you're not giving that attention, then it's going to go look for it somewhere else, right? Your spouse needs attention too, right? Everything that you want needs attention, and money is not anything different, right? Than that. And so the whole thing that I love about, like you just said, shared with us about the Grant Cardone University is it's not just sales. That's what's going to help you become better and grow your business, but it's the mindset that does that. And so there's going to be different aspects on the modules itself where it's growing your mindset, right? Because the mindset is the most important, because when your mind can do anything, there's nothing that can stop you, right? Your mind is what is unstoppable. If you allow your mind to be unstoppable, doesn't matter. I'm gonna say Trump. How many times did he go bankrupt? But guess what? He got right back out, right? So his mind will never let him stay bankrupt. Because in life, things will go up and down. But if you have the right mindset, you will never stay down. It's just a temporary, right? It's just a temporary slowdown for you, right? Like, oh, right, let's speed back up, right? Oh, I hit a bump. It's okay. We're going to speed back up, right? And catch our course again. And so that's what this program has done for me. And you just hit my heart right there, because that's what I wanted to talk about, because, and I forgot to say that in the intro, was that through the ups and downs of the last 3 years, right? Lots of ups and downs, I've never lost the skills and the mindset that I learned from this program. I can get myself right back up, and I can dust myself off, and I can do it again, over and over again, right? And so can you. So let's go with Miss Winnie. I see your hand up. What do you have for us for this week?
Good morning, Angie. It's good to see you. It's been a while, like you said. Thank you for taking over the platform today so we can continue to improve in what we're doing. I'm kind of like, well, Miss Laura is talking about the finance. The module that caught my eye was the one that says the basic building blocks of money, where the module will talk about your income is king. He says there's no chance of wealth without an income. And so you have to first have the income, right? So he also talked, he said, well, we were taught or instructed that about a job. We said that people tell you that job is just over broke. He said, but you will probably need that job to increase your income, and you increase your income in increments. He also stated that something that I had never heard before, that, well, we know that the government gonna take the taxes out of your money, right? So then you got 95% of you have no control over, but then you have 5% that you do have control over for is your expenses. So the IRS gonna take their money, the taxes, whatever, they're gonna take their money out first. But now he's suggesting something I'd never heard before, is you, off your gross money, you take 40%. I was like, whoa. Now I've heard trying to get that 10%, but I had never heard about no 40%. And I'm sitting here with my little retirement check, and I'm trying to check things out. I'm like, oh no, I can't live on that. So I'm like, okay, now how can I work this out? Because that, I know the 10% you set aside for yourself, because you paying your car note, you're paying your house note, but are you paying yourself? And then you take that money that you pay for yourself and put it aside for a saving, and which will build up. In other words, he's saying increments. You're building your finances in increments. And that's what caught my eye mostly. He also talked about the credit card too. And so I'm going to continue that because I kind of enjoy this particular module. And he said, people say credit card is bad. He said, no, it's how you use your credit card. So whatever you purchase on your credit card, at the end of the month, pay it off. That way you don't have to pay that interest, monthly. And another thing he said that was good about credit cards is the fact that you get a statement. And so now that is your statement for your income tax that you can use, showing what you spent and whatever. So that subject that really did touch me because I was like, wow, I like that. I can learn a little bit more, but I'm still working on that 40% thing he's talking about. So thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you so much for sharing, Miss Winnie. I love that, that's the thing, you learn so much in these modules. And so just going through them, and it's never ending knowledge, right? You work on one thing and you work on another thing. You always work on your weaknesses and even your strengths to strengthen. I watch modules of things that I'm already good at to strengthen that, to master it. And then I work slowly on my weak side so that I could, become that 360 degree person, right? And catch up. So I love that you just shared what you were able to learn from the modules and take that into your goals, right? And change. That's what I do. I look into the modules, like whatever, like for instance, you shared that with the finances, and now you're able to sculpture your life, right, into a better financial situation due to that you're finding in the module. So don't take those modules for granted, right? They do a number of things in helping you and I love that if you fail the test, you can't get to the next level. So they're gonna make you watch it again until you get it. So they make sure you get it before you move on. So I love that. Thank you for sharing, Miss Winnie. Miss Carla, I see your hand up.
Great afternoon. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay, great. Winnie took what I was going to talk about. That 40%. I'm like, okay, so how am I going to do that, especially given where I am at the moment? So it's like, okay, so I guess the biggest thing is to be incremental in terms of how I'm able to evolve, to be able to, put 40% aside and live off of the 60 that's left over after taxes. That's going to be a minute. But that thing last night just like really messed with my head. So thank you so much for allowing me to share.
You're very welcome. Yes. Right. And that's what, and you know what, when those type of truths hit you is when your brain, right? Those type of things are so that your brain will now compute, okay, I know what I need to do. How do I solve this problem? Right? Because we're all problem solvers, right? How many problems do we get a day and how many do we solve, right? So those things are geared for you to reflect and say, okay, how, now that I know what I need to do, how do I get that done? How do I get that 40%? What things do I need to put together? What other investments and things that I need to get to put together so that my income grows into what I need it to grow to, right? The number that I set. So that's the first step of get that financial freedom, because you can't have financial freedom unless you know the plan you're going to do to get that financial freedom, right? So a lot of people will say, I want financial freedom, but do you know what that looks like? Have you put together a plan for that in your mind? It doesn't have to work out, but do you have a plan for that to happen, right? Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. All right, let's go to Mr. Kendrick. Hello,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good
So,
morning.
um, just want to say, have great Saturday to all the other crash campers. This week I was in the rally calls with Kelvin, and what struck me about Kelvin was when he was talking about attitude, and he was talking to a guy about selling pools, and when the young man came on, Mr. Kelvin was actually more excited than the guy who was doing the roll call with him. So he started talking about attitude, and he said, you should never let the customer be more excited than you are. So he's like, when you're talking to people, make sure you have the right energy and you keep the right attitude. And yeah, so then when he came back on, the guy who was talking with role playing, he had a much better attitude, and the role play was much more effective. So that's what I focused on this week, was attitude, and just having an attitude of gratitude. And it just starts off with just being around the right people and getting the right information. So I'm just happy to be able to share that this morning.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate you sharing that, because that is, I mean, how many of you have gone somewhere where, like, even the waitress or someone that's serving you, and they're, they have that fantastic attitude, like, hey, how are you? Have a great day. And then you've walked up to a counter where someone's like, just barely looks at you and just like, what do you need? Right? Right? It's a whole different thing, right? When you like, I just love what you just shared. Like, I just popped up, you watch, I don't know if you ever watch what is it, Pretty Woman, right? When she walks up to the sales lady, and that sales lady just blew her off, right? Attitude, right? And you never know who you're speaking to, and that attitude, you could have blown a very great sales, right? A great prospect, a great person that could have, and because you were just, hey, instead of, hey, how are you? I'm having a great day. Like, when you walk into that atmosphere, you just want to stay there, right? And that's what you want. When you're meeting somebody or you're on the phone, most people who just go, hey, I'm calling because da, 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 you're just like, oh, sorry, I don't have time, right? But when you pick up the phone and somebody's like, hey, how are you? At least you're going to be like, hey, I'm good, right? And so if you ever pick up a telemarketer and you hear that, that boring phrase when they first start, you're just like, oh, I don't want to hear anymore, right? But when you hear such a bright and energetic person on that other line, you'll at least give them 2 more seconds, 3 more seconds to let them get out what they were going to say, right? And that's the whole thing of those sales rally calls, because you want to make yourself different than everybody else that calls on a call, or everybody else that they meet, right? And that the one thing is positive energy, right? Because that energy is infectious, right? And people tend to get drawn in by energy, right? So that's key. Without energy, then you're not going to accomplish anything that you have. Anything needs energy, right? It's that energy that is going to put the fire into whatever it is you're doing. If you put energy into everything that you do, it's gonna be fire. And I love the sales rally calls. Like you said, you're looking, this is the great thing about the rally calls is I'm actually looking at myself on the other end when these instructors, these trainers are talking to them, like, oh, I do that. Okay, so that's how I learn too. I don't actually have to be the one on the other person. I like to learn by watching other people. So I'm like, wow, is that how I sound when I call people up? Right? Let me change that, right? And so I see a lot of things that I do in these people that are speaking on the rally call. So I learn a lot through them, because I see myself in their shoes and what I do when I talk to people. So thank you for sharing that, Kendrick. Appreciate that. Oh, Miss Leslie Johnson, let's go.
Happy Saturday morning. It's Angel
Happy
Train.
Saturday.
Hey, good to see you. Welcome back. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy also for our leaders, Mr. and Mrs. Bean, and my angel investor, Ms. Laura Johnson. Still see the value of them. That we continue to learn, grow, and develop, and then apply it. Yes, I mean, I've heard this call is already amazing. Thank you so much. And a quick reflection, you know, I want to just piggyback, well, talk about Mr. Bean beginning of mindset call with those 5, you know, motivation, motivables, unmotivables. Anyway, like he said, you know, he can only answer questions that he's aware of. I would ask him about the cold call, you know, you see, he wasn't too familiar in the area. So he told me to go and study the modules, right? So anyway, I was back into the module again this week. Listening to Grant Cardone, and he said, when you're making a cold call, you know, you don't drop that big claim. You see, you want to overpromise and overdeliver. And he said, because you get the attention, the key to the big claim is to be honest, don't talk, avenge anyway, stay positive, needs to be confident, And that's one thing, you know, it requires too, and you mentioned the word courage. We got the knowledge, but it takes the courage to go and do the work. And I'm just happy and grateful for that. And they talked about quality questions, fact finding, collect the data from the prospect. And that way, you'll be able to close them more. So it's just a powerful tool, you know, as I want to grow and develop in that area. And he said also, you know, when you're closing the appointment, you want to make sure it's a solid appointment. Ask them why now. You know, why would you give me the opportunity to call you back at such a time? So you just want to make sure it's a solid, locked-in appointment. There's so many great things in these modules. So thank you, Ms. Angel, for allowing me to share. And again, good morning, hey, Crash Campus.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Miss Leslie Johnson, and sharing that. Is I love that you just shared, because like that's what this program is for, so that you can be able to have access to things like for the cold calls, right? Because not everybody does cold calls, so not everybody knows how to do a cold call, an effective cold call, right? You can do a cold call, but an effective one. And the breakdown that you just shared on how to do an effective cold call was perfect, right? You have to have quality fact-finding questions. You have to have a big claim, right? You have to keep the person on the line long enough in order for you to book that appointment, right? On cold calls, right? Cold calls is that person doesn't know you at all. And how are you going to keep this person on the phone long enough to book an appointment, right? With them, right? Book a Zoom meeting, book a second meeting, right? From that cold call, right? So I love that. Cold calls are going to be something that if you want to learn how to expand, then that is another way to expand, right? Through cold calls, through calling people. And even I don't know how they do it, but they do 300 calls a day, right? That's what Kelvin and them say, right? As soon as they're off the rally calls, they go and do their calls, right? And they do 300 calls a day, right? And so I actually am one of those people that did learn how to do cold calls, right? So thank you for sharing that, Miss Leslie Johnson, because I'm gonna have a treat for you all later on this call with the cold calls. So get your notes and pads and pencils ready for later, right? And I'm gonna share that in a little bit after our call. So let's go ahead, and anybody else want to share on the reflections of for the week. If not, we're gonna go ahead and move into our role plays. That way I do have some time to share a little bit of what I learned on cold calls with you all. So anybody want to add on your reflection? All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the role play, because as you know, right, knowledge without courage is not going to work. So who has the courage to go first for our role play? Right? Because you know what they say, right? The early bird gets the worm, right? So
Well,
oh, I see who the early bird was.
I think I saw Carla's hand go up first. So, she's driving, so I'll deflect to her, but I'd love to go after her.
Sure. Why don't we role play together then? Miss Carla, go first, and Laura Johnson, you'll be her prospect. What are we doing for you?
Okay, so what I wanted to do is I'm doing a follow-up call after this person has watched the 𝐍𝐓 𝐅𝐎𝐑𝐪
Watch the
so
video?
ring.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yes, they watched the video. Hey,
Did you
good
want any
morning, Ms.
objections?
Laura. This is Carla.
Yeah, quick question,
yes, I
Carla.
just want objection.
Okay, great. All right. Hello?
Great morning, Ms. Laura. This is Carla.
Oh, good morning. How are you doing?
I am well. The reason for the call is I am touching bases with you to find out after you had, I'm touching bases with you to see what you like best about the information that you saw on this 𝐍𝐓 platform.
Oh, well, I did watch the video, but I didn't understand everything about it. I'm not a gambler.
Understood. I hear you. I'm not a gambler either. What is it that you did not quite understand about what you saw in the information that was shared?
Well, it seemed to me that, I would be gambling. What I did like was the idea that I could earn some money, but I don't want to gamble.
I hear you. I totally understand. I get it. I don't gamble as well. So in addition to that, what else is it that you don't understand?
Well, I just don't understand how it works. I don't understand anything really.
Okay, so which video did you watch? Did you watch the 9-minute video or did you watch a different one?
No, I watched the one that you sent me.
Okay, great. So in terms of you don't understand how that works, what do you mean by that?
Well, it was talking about a sports contract, and I don't understand what that is because, like I said, I don't want to gamble.
Gotcha. Okay, so the sports contract, it's like you share. It's like a pool sharing opportunity, right? And then someone would take out a contract, and based on the contract, then you would get your earnings. Is there anything else that you don't understand, or did we want to rewatch it again so that we can go through it together?
Well, maybe if we watched it together, then if I got to any point where it was unclear, you could explain it to me.
Perfect. Let's do that now.
Okay. Well, I just don't have too much time right now. I'm about to jump on a Zoom call.
Okay, great. So this afternoon about 3, is that good for you? So we can get together and watch it together and address any and all questions that you have.
I'll be out this afternoon, but I'll be back by about 4:30.
4:30? Okay, so what does 5 o'clock look like?
I think 5 o'clock looks good.
Perfect, perfect. So why are you giving me the time this evening at 5?
Well, Carla, I like you.
Okay. I know we've known each other a long time and I like you too. In addition to liking me, why else are you giving me the time?
Well, because you told me that there's an opportunity here for me to earn some extra income. And, these days and times are tough. And I definitely need some extra funds.
Yes, and what would you do with those extra funds?
Well, I as of this moment, I really just have enough to pay my bills. So anything extra would go into just living life a little bit better. Maybe I can get to take a vacation. Maybe I can get to visit my grandkids. Just do some things that where I'm not just living paycheck to paycheck.
Perfect. So to help you not live paycheck to paycheck, we're on for 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I want to hear what you have to say.
Right. Well, thank you so much. And other than a big storm coming through South Carolina, what would stop you from being on this call at 5 o'clock?
Well, nothing. I really want to hear what you have to say. So, I'm committed to the time at 5.
Perfect. I'll see you at 5, and I'll send you the Zoom link, and we can watch together.
Awesome. Okay. Look forward to it. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you so much, Ms. Laura. We'll talk to you after.
All right.
Nice.
Give Miss Carla a round of applause, right? First of all, for stepping up and being the first. That's a whole lot of courage. Always being first, right? And so I love the beginning and the end. I think you did a fantastic job. I think the middle is where we're gonna work on the most. But I love your beginning, right? Energy out. I love how how you had agreement with her on when she said I don't gamble, your agreement with her, that you agreed with her. I love that you're rewatching it with her to make sure that she's understanding everything and what she was missing, right? I love that. And I love that when you're booking the appointment, that you're making sure that you didn't stop at when she's like, I like you. and, and and I know, like, when she said that, you're like, what do you mean? Because there was a pause, right? Like, what do you mean? Only because you like it. And I love that you just kept going, like, you're like, no, that's not good enough, right? And so sometimes in these calls, we get so shy or we get so nervous that we let the prospect take control. And you didn't. You said, no, that's not good enough. I want to know the real reason why you will give me this time, because liking me, well, you didn't say that, but you're gesturing it with your words, like, no, we're not going to take that, right? So by you keep going and saying, what is the real reason you are going to give me the time? Not only did you take full control back, right? Because she stumbled you a bit right there. You took control back and you said, nope, that's not good enough. And a lot of times that's what our prospect needs, is for us to lead, right? For us to say, no. Why would you give me that time? And I love that, because now she just gave you the real, right? You allowed her to fully, when it's the hard questions, and that's the hard questions. You're like, I know you like me, but what's the real reason, right? When we ask those hard questions, Unfortunately, it's called hard questions because it's hard questions. It's hard to us. It's hard for us to ask. It's not hard questions for the actual prospect. It's hard for us to ask these questions because we feel some type of way when we ask these questions, right? Like we feel like we are pushing. But it actually allows transparency. Because if you notice, when she asked that hard question, like, I know you like me, but what's the real reason? Now, she just opened the door for Miss Laura Johnson to be completely transparent with her, and she just gave her everything that she needed to say why this call is important to her. It's not about what Miss Carla Wynn can bring. It's not about what Lance Green can bring. It's what is going to solve Miss Laura Johnson's problems. And she just laid out everything that if Miss Carla Wynn answered her on this call, right? If you took notes, which I always take notes, right? I would have written every single thing down that Miss Laura Johnson just poured out. And on this call, when we get on there, we're going to address all of this for you. We're going to show you how L Green is going to solve these issues in your life so that you can solve these issues. Not me, not L Green. It is just the vehicle that's going to help you solve these issues that you have. Right? So I love that. So let's talk about the middle, right? I love it because that's it. She's sold. If you can answer those questions, she's sold, right? So that's what I love about role plays, right? Is that's how we learn, how we grow better, 1% at a time, right? 1% every day. That's how our money grows 1% every day. We got to grow ourselves 1% every day, right? So what I saw was when she did answer the gambling, said, I don't gamble, right? And this happens to all of us, right? There's certain things. I remember when people used to ask me, say, when I first started network marketing, and people would be like, is this a pyramid scheme? I used to hate that, right, question when it hit me, right? Hated it, right? Whenever it hit me, because I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to answer that, right? And so when you don't answer it, you kind of like say, oh, you agree with them, which you did, you agreed, but then you kind of skipped it to go on to something else. And the one thing, Ms. Laura Johnson was okay with that, but there's a lot of prospects that if you don't answer my question, I feel like you're deflecting and I can't trust you anymore. And that conversation would have stopped.
Thank you.
Right? So you want to address any single concern that they have before moving on, because trust is everything in a conversation, right? So if they feel something is not right, you're not being transparent, then that could have dropped the call, or that could have dropped the call already, right? So you want to make sure that you answer any objections before moving on. Right? I used to say, well, I'll answer that later, right? But the person that's sitting there is like, she didn't even answer my question, and she's moving on to something else, but I still have that concern, and it's not going away. So now everything that you're saying, I'm just thinking about my concern. My concern is still there. It hasn't been addressed and moved on, right? It's a conflict that hasn't been solved, and we're moving on to the next subject. Right? So you want to address it. So how I would address that is to ask, to say, yeah, I agree with you. I don't like gambling either. You know, and that's why I love L Green, because we're not doing the gambling. Right? We're opening a sports contract. They do everything. All that happens is we get 1%, 26 days out of the month, right? So 6 days a week, 26 days out of the month. You don't have to worry about any of that. right? Right? It's the same thing, like hedge funds. The people who are investing in hedge funds, they don't know how to play stocks. They don't know how to do any of that stuff. So what do? They collaboratively put their money together, and the hedge fund does it for them. Same thing here. Investors collaboratively put their funds together, and the company does what it does. You receive your ROI 1% every day. Right? Give her clarity. And then once you feel, does that clarify it for you, Miss Laura Johnson? And if she says, yeah, but you don't want to move on until you have solved that issue or objection from her first. Right? And then, so just ask more questions, I think, to clarify, like when she says she doesn't understand how it pays, right? Or how 𝐍𝐓 works, right? Well, what do you mean? What part of it, like, what part of it do you not understand? Do you not understand? And give examples, right? Because so that she can, you're leading her. So do you not understand how it pays? Do you not understand the compensation? What part do you not understand? That way she can tell you exactly, well, how does this contract work? Now you will be able to really, instead of giving her a generalization answer, you'll be able to pinpoint the exact issue that she's having. Right? So let's say she says, well, I don't know how the contract works. Okay, very simple, right? The contract part, you don't know how that works. Okay, great. Let me share with you how that contract works, right? You're going to pick a sports package, right? A sports contract package. Let's say you always want to use numbers or things that people can picture. So let's say you start with 1,000, right? What's going to happen is, because you signed $1,000 sports contract, at the end of the term, you're going to have $2,000. Right? Do you see how she can picture that? 1,000 start, 2,000 finish. You got to make it easy for people and then picture it, right? So 1,000, 2,000 start. That's 2,000 at the end. And that's going to be 1% at every day. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 months for you to hit that 2,000 from 1,000. Do you have anything in your portfolio right now, Ms. Laura Johnson, that's going to give you in 4 to 5 months from putting in their 1,000 to 2,000? Right? Which most people don't. Right?
That's perfect. Thank you. I missed that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. No, because we're in the role play. So I had to have role play with Miss Tanya Lawrence too, so that I can see what I'm missing, right? And she's the same. So sometimes when we're in the conversation, we don't know what the missing piece is because we're in the picture. So this is why role playing is so important, right? It's really important to do, not just every day, not every once a week at Crash Camp. Do it every day if you can. Pick a partner, right? Miss Carla Wynn, call Miss Laura Johnson. Mr. Long, we don't even talk about, hey, are you ready for role play? This is how Miss Tanya Lawrence calls me up, right? She goes, good morning, Angel. And I'm like, good morning. And she's like, hey, you got a minute? She just goes right into it. And it's done within like 5 to 10 minutes, and we're on our way to the rest of our day, right? And so just that little muscle every single day is going to help. Trust me, right? I mean, Miss Tanya Lawrence and I are proof of that. A muscle, one little, working that muscle, like working your fitness every single day, right? It just comes naturally. It will come naturally, right? Because you're doing it every single day. So perfect. Thank you. Miss Laura Johnson, you're next.
Yes, and if I may, Miss Angel, I just wanted to add something to your observation. And because Miss Carla's in the car and she's driving, she may not have had access to her script, but it's real valuable to, have your script with the word tracks that you can use at certain times. Because one thing, while I was doing the role play with Miss Carla, was that she did ask me what I liked best, but I didn't answer that question. I said, I told her immediately that I didn't understand. And so she didn't get an answer to the question, because I think the role play might have gone a little bit differently if she could have said, okay, I understand that you don't understand, but what'd you like about what you saw? She would have gotten that out a little bit earlier, and then she would not have had to focus on what I didn't understand. She would have been able to, switch her focus to what I did like best. So, I know that she's driving, so that's
Yeah.
but those word tracks
They
are
did a
real.
great job for driving. I don't know if I can
Yeah, she did an excellent job. She got me to 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, she got it. She turned it around. And that's the thing, so nothing is gonna go perfect, right? There's gonna be slip ups, there's gonna be, mistakes made, but what it is you can always come back, and and that's why I love I and that's what I just shared with her. The beginning and the end, she moved it back, the comeback, right? She came back, right? Even if you do it wrong, you can always come back. You can always turn it around if you keep on, like, courage, keep going.
Keep going.
Whether you make a mistake or not, keep going and
keep going
and turn it around, right? You can turn it around. And she turned you around. She turned you to selling yourself at the very end. See how great that is?
She certainly did.
That's a skill, right? Great job, ladies. Okay, Miss Laura Johnson.
Okay,
you are up next.
I would like to work on a invite to watch the El Green information. So this is the initial call to someone that I'm acquainted with, to someone that I know, and introducing it to them for the first time. And if Mr. Philpart, if Mr. Kendrick can come off mute and be my prospect, and just give me whatever you've been getting, okay, so that we could work it through. So ring ring.
Hello, Miss Laura.
Good morning, Kendrick. Hey, listen, I don't have a lot of time, but do you have a minute?
A little busy now, but what do you got?
Okay, well, I won't take up much of your time, but Kendrick, listen, I really thought about you because I'm a member of an investment group, and one of my latest investments is actually paying out 1% every day, 26 days a week, which actually means that your money doubles in about 90 days. So when can I get a solid 10 minutes with you to be able to share with you this information?
Okay, and you said what you said it was an investment group that you're in?
Yes, I am with a group of people, and what we do is we search out and we vet investments where we can actually diversify our income, and also, just enhance our lifestyle. If you have some extra income, you're going to be able to do some extra things. Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I like what you said about enhancing lifestyle. I'm definitely looking to enhance some parts of my lifestyle. So yeah, it sounds cool.
Well, if you were to enhance just one area of your lifestyle right away, what would be the first thing that you would do, Kendrick?
An area that I would like to improve is travel, being able to get back into traveling. Really haven't done a whole lot since COVID. So getting back into travel with the rest of the world, is people seem to be moving around again, and I like to get in the mix of that also. So.
Oh man, that is awesome. That you joining my family right now. I love to travel. So when can I get a good solid 10 minutes of your time so I can share with you the information that I have about this platform that is paying out 1% a day, 26 days a week. Do you have anything that is doing that in your portfolio or in your life right now?
Currently, no, I don't have anything paying out 1%. You said every day?
Every day, 26 days a month. And what that does is that your
Okay.
money doubles in about 3 months. So, hey, Kendrick, do you have time right now?
Not right now. I'm actually in the middle of something at the moment, but I am interested. Maybe tomorrow would work better for me.
Okay, good. Would it be better in the morning or in the afternoon?
Yeah, afternoon would work best for me. I have to get the kids to school in the morning, so morning would be good. But afternoon, I'll be free after, let's see, even early morning, 11 a.m. would be perfect for me.
Absolutely. Well, I am penciling you in at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. And so, listen, it'll take about 10 to 15 minutes of your time. And if you don't like what you see, you can hang up on me after the first 5 minutes. But I know that you have a desire to travel more, enhance your lifestyle. And that's exactly what my intention is, to show you that on the call that we have tomorrow. So now, Kendrick, is there any reason that you would not be available at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning?
No, 11 is good. I know I'll be back settled in. 11 should work perfectly for me.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. Well, I am definitely setting that time for you, and I will show you this information at that time. Now, one last question, Kendrick.
Mhm.
Why are you giving me this time?
Like I said, I do want to get back out and travel, and you have helped me in the past with some investments. So yeah, just track record, and it's just good timing. Also, it's good timing in my life for you for this opportunity. So yeah, I look forward to the call at 11.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm excited that it's a great timing for you right now, and that you are ready to, take the next step towards, enhancing your life and, making a difference. So, listen, I will definitely see you tomorrow at 11.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All
Okay, Angel, take it away.
right. All right, look at that. Professional, right? That is somebody who works her muscle a lot, right? That's a 300-pound weightlifting champion right there, right? So you can tell who is always working out, right? Working out that muscle, right? Because she is. I love I love a lot of what was going on, right? I love her breakdown of the investment club and how it's enhancing your lifestyle, because she got him. He's like, ooh, I like that, enhancing your lifestyle, right? So when she said that, it clicked for him. And that's what you want when you are talking to somebody, that is going to click for that person, right? Say something that, like the big claim, right? This is not a big claim, but it is the thing that piqued his interest. And that's what you want to hold a person on a call, is to pique their interest. So she piqued his interest right from the beginning, right? To have him stay on this call. And then I love how when she went with it, see, this is what you're going to have to learn through calls. It's not always going to be A, B, C like the script, right? You're going to have to go with the flow. And he said that he loved the enhancement of the lifestyle. So she took it there. She went with the flow and she started asking him, okay, what about enhancing your lifestyle, right? You like what I said about enhancing the lifestyle, but she took it deeper. She went a deep dive into how does that affect you? What does that mean for you personally, enhancing your lifestyle? What does that mean to you personally? And so she was able to now let him become transparent and tell her what it is that he needs this investment to do for him. So if she was taking notes, that's something that she should be writing down, because that's going to help her later when she is showing the plan, right? When she is showing the, what 𝐍𝐿 can do. Like, remember when you said you wanted to enhance your lifestyle by whatever he said, she's going to now say, well, this is how 𝐍𝐿 will help you enhance what you were sharing with me earlier, right? And then she's very good at asking a lot of questions, right? So I love that, because the more you know about your prospect, the more information you can get from him is the better during the close of it, right? You don't close on the close, you close before the close. So she's already closed him on this little call. You think that it's just, we're just booking to the appointment. No, Miss Laura has already closed him. She's trial closing him, right? She's got her answers by what he needs this to enhance his lifestyle. She's got him why he needs to be on this call, right? So the close happens from the very beginning. She's closing him each and every step of the way before the final close. The final close should be okay, we're ready to get started and let's go. That's really the close. You are really walking the prospect step by step before that close, so that your close is simple, right? If you have a hard close, that means that the trial closes that you were using was not working. If there's a hard close, right? You didn't close them that trial close every step of the way. So perfect. I love that. The only thing that I would probably say to change in the beginning is that I don't have a lot of time. One, I prefer to say, when you say I don't have a lot of time, right? I say, hey, it's been a while. Let's catch up on another day. The reason for my call today is, right? It's a little bit smoother, right? Then I don't have a lot of time. Because then you did ask him, like, if he can hop on a Zoom later. So if you say I don't have a lot of time, but then you're saying that let's hop on a Zoom soon, then that kind of defeats the purpose of I don't have a lot of time, right?
Yes.
So the best thing would be like, hey, it's been a while, we definitely need to catch up. So you're gauging the expectation from him to chit chatter about other things. We're going to go into the reason for my call, right?
Awesome.
This time. So yeah, because we have to be careful of what we say, and then later on down the road we change it, then that's going to confuse the prospect, right? So if you just say, hey, we don't have, I think you meant like we don't have time to talk about other things, right? So just say, hey, we'll chit chat. We need to catch up on life on another day, but the reason for my call is, and then that would have been like, that's it, smooth. So
yes,
all right, give her another round of applause.
Excellent transition. Thank you.
Smooth operator right there. I loved it. Thank you. So who is next, right? Who would like to go next? And I hope everybody's learning a lot, right? And if you try, this is how you're going to be able to get that 1%. The role playing, I mean, I can call on people and that's going to be fine, but it's so much better when you volunteer and be able to, take that stand and because it's something when you make the stand and change yourself 1% every day, right? Anyone can call on you and, basically force you to do it. I've done that for my team. Throw them into the pit of fire, right? But when you step up and you volunteer and you do it, there's a change in your mindset, in your character, right? Already, right? That confidence is going to boost up. So who can we call on today, right? Any volunteers before? Oh, oh, I don't know if I can say. Can you tell me your name? I don't want to mess it up.
I'm Sekou, and I'm gonna pick on Carla since she's driving.
Oh, okay. Well, pleasure meeting you, Sekou. Right.
Nice to meet you too, Angel.
All
and so
right.
I
You
wanted
can pick on
to.
Miss Carla today. Miss Carla, you're popular today.
Hi, Sekou.
Okay, what are
Hi,
we
Carla.
doing today?
So I'm gonna go through the. I'm gonna go through the script, and I'm gonna do the initial presentation. Try and get an initial presentation. I'm gonna try and do exactly what Miss Laura did to get them to see the video of land screen.
Correct. Okay. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully. All right. I'm ready. If you're ready.
Yep,
I'm ready.
Okay. Ring,
Hello.
ring.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
This is Sekou. You got 3 minutes of time that we can talk right now?
Sure, Fred. What's going on?
Well, I know we haven't talked in a while and we need to catch up, but I wanted to, I was thinking of you. I'm part of a investment club that we are looking at a few different investments, and I thought this particular investment might be a good fit for you. It is a opportunity to receive a return on your money every 6 days of 1% each day. In the month that you would receive 26 days, you receive 1% every day for 26 days in that month. And I wanted to send you a video, get you on a video call so that you could see the video of this, and it'll take 9 minutes of your time. Is now a good time to do that?
Okay. Now, actually, I'm getting ready to jump into an event that I'm vending right now, so I can't do it at the moment. We should be finished around 2. I think I should be back in Baltimore at about maybe 4.
Okay.
I
So
can see you after
4:30 would be good.
4:30. Let's say 5.
5. Okay. I'm kind of curious. Why would you want to give me time at 5 o'clock to watch this 9-minute video?
Well, Sekou, you're leaning on the shield a little bit, bro. And so, because you are a friend and family and all of the things, and I've worked with your wife, Sylvia, I'm interested in what you got to say to me.
Okay. So because of our relationship, you were trusting me enough to watch this 9-minute video. Is there any reason why?
Yeah.
Okay. So because of your trust in me, you're willing to give me 9 minutes of your time at 5 o'clock.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Okay. So short of your meeting running over and you get a ton of things that would block you from for us meeting at 5. Is there any other reason why you would not be on the call at 5 o'clock?
I give you my word. I will be on the meeting at 5 o'clock, but I'll make sure that I'm still enough to be able to pay close attention.
All right. So what I will do is send you a Zoom link so that we can watch the 9-minute video together, and I will call you at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you for your time, Carla.
Okay. Thank you so much. Talk with you later, Blue. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Sorry, I was writing notes.
Congratulations on your first role play, Mr. Brown.
Yes, I was just about to ask you that. Was that your first role play, right? So
Yes,
that's an extra round of applause for your very first time. You did great. And for your first time, you have the mechanics down, right? And that's what's important, to have that you know where you are going, right? To have the mechanics down, right? And everything else will get better, right? So I love that, because a lot of people on their first role play, they don't even have the mechanics down. They're just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna pull something out, right? And so you walked her through the process, which is good. I would suggest going back to the PS5, right? And going and doing that over and over until it becomes a embedded in you, right? And then you can kind of script it in whichever way that for yourself, right? So like, for instance, you're following Miss Laura Johnson, but you didn't know that her process was memorizing the PS5 before she started playing around and changing different things with it, right? So what you want to do is, when you have a script, is always follow the script. And then when you get better, when you actually can memorize the script from just saying it, now you are at the level where you can start changing the things around with it, right? So I would suggest just getting the PS5 and then just doing it, like just practicing on people or practicing on a partner every single day. Remember, working that muscle. And then once you are comfortable with that, because you know the mechanics, but because it's not something that you've done every single day and working that muscle, you can see the breaks in it, right? And that's it. That's just part of the process. It's going to be breaks until it just runs smoothly. And that's what the script is for. You want to have a script that you don't have to think, you just memorize, right? Memorize until you can just recite it without even having to look. That's when you know you're ready for that next step. So great job. That took a lot of courage. First time is always taking a lot of courage, and you showed it. You had little breaks in there, but you didn't stumble. You just kept going. So the little things that you can do is have the breakdown, right? The breakdown of 𝐿 Green, right? So for simplicity for 𝐿 Green, I would just say it's a sports contract that gives you 1% a day, 6 days a week, 26 days a month. So write that down and just memorize that. So that way you won't have to recall, right? It's just there in your memory, right? You don't have to think about it. And keep it simple, right? Because most people can understand 1% a day, 26 days a month. Very simple, right? Key is simplicity, right? When it's a lot of jumbled things, people don't remember. They just remember simplicity if you make it simple for them to remember.
Thank you.
Right. You're very welcome. And and at the end, so when she gave you that, because I love you is why I'm going to be on this call, right? And the call doesn't have to be serious, right? You want to be yourself. You want to joke around, right? And so besides the fact that you love me, what besides, I know that you love me. Besides the fact that you love me, why would you get on this call? What will it do for you? Right? Why would you want to get on this call? Right? Because you want her to tell you what's important for her to be on this call, because that's when you're gonna find that's the answer that you need. It's kind of like, you need that answer for the call, because you have to walk into the call. You got to walk into the Zoom with, you know, like if you're going to war, you got to walk into the war with some ammunition, right? You don't want to walk into the Zoom without anything. And so far, she hasn't told you anything as a reason why, right? That this call would be important, or why it's important for her to make this 1%. Because if she actually says it, then she's pretty much sold herself to be on this call, and you don't have to. And you, with that, you can now show her how 𝐍𝐓, because 𝐍𝐓 is going to help people in different ways. It's not a one size fit all. For some people, it could be retirement. For some people, it could be, like Miss Winnie said, trust funds for my grandchildren, for my children. It's going to be different for everybody's financial goals. So you need to find out why this call, why she would want to show up. And then at the end, you know, we joke, okay, well, then I'm expecting you on this call because you said you love me, right? So I expect you on the call, right? You know, make it personable, make it fun. I joke around a lot with my prospects, right? Because it's the small things, right? The jokes and things in between, and not just a serious sales call, right? So make it more, and that's it. But you did perfect. I mean, for a very first time, I've seen a lot of first times, so that's a great first time. Congratulations.
For the compliment.
You don't want to know my first time. Some people probably remember. Keep that to your graves, okay? All right, everybody. So we all have had that, so don't feel bad. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now, anybody else want to go? I think we'll take one more, and then we're gonna dive into what I'm gonna share today. So one more. Let's do one more. Because role play is where it's at, because that's the key to the next step. Until I role play, I couldn't get better. So anyone? Oh, we do have two. Yay. Miss Winnie. There you go.
I want to try to turn this around a little bit. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I want to be the person on the receiving end.
Oh, okay.
Whereas someone, Miss Laura, I don't want to put you on the spot, Miss Laura. So someone that will say that we've already looked at the video. You've already sent me the video, and I looked at it, but then I'm still putting you on hold. So you're doing a follow-up call back to me to find out, you know, what was my interest, did I get an interest in, or whatever it may be. Yes. So I can ask kind of like different type of questions per se. I mean, not Correct. Different, but something that a customer person may ask.
Correct. Okay, so you wanted Miss Laura Johnson then?
Well, I said I didn't want to put her on the spot.
You wanted the pro. You wanted the pro. That's okay.
I could put you on the spot for that matter.
So good. So what we can do is, yes, Miss Laura Johnson, you're gonna go, and I love that too, because that's the reverse of role play, right? You want to share the objections that you're getting, and so you want somebody who's going to go through it, and so you can voice your objections and see how they handle it, right? So let's go, Miss Laura Johnson. You can handle this.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Okay. Okay. So ring ring.
Hello.
Good morning, Winnie. This is Laura.
Oh, hi, Laura. How are you today?
I am doing exceptionally well. Listen, the reason for my call is that I'm following up with you about the information that I shared and the video that I sent you. So, I have a quick question. What did you like best about what you saw?
Well, I like best was the 1% that I could make 6 days a week on my on my money.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I mean, that's what I liked, but I have questions about that though.
Absolutely.
My questions is, okay, so once I invest, say I invest $500 and I get that 1% for, 6 days. Once my money increase, how do I get my money out? That's my question. How do I get my increase out so I can put it someplace?
Oh, that's a great question. That's absolutely excellent question. It's very simple and easy to get it out, and I'll walk you through the process. Absolutely. But let me ask you, what would you do with the 1% if you were to invest $500? That would be about $130 a month. What would you do with that additional $130?
Well, I would save it so I can increase my package if this program actually works.
Okay, okay. Well, we have a lot of people that have proof that it actually works. I actually sent you a couple of my screenshots previously to show that that it worked. And that's the action that many of us take, is to upgrade our packages so that we can earn more. But what would you do with the money? You're not just earning it so that you can just continually increase. What would you do with your money when you receive it?
Well, once I receive it, depending on the amount that I have, I could probably do some renovation around my house. My kids are grown, so they can take care of themselves.
Okay. That's awesome. Do you have a specific room or something that you'd start on first?
Yeah, my master bedroom.
Ooh.
Bathroom, rather. My master bathroom.
Your master bath. Ooh, you're gonna create yourself a spa environment, probably.
Yes.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Well, Winey, the program, the El Green program, has been working for people for over a year. I've sent you some screenshots of where my investments are. I started small and then I increased and I have upgraded. And so what I'd like to ask you is, how much of what I've told you do you actually believe?
Well, I've seen your screenshot, and it seems like you're actually making money. So, and I know you, so I think that it's a pretty good deal. I'm just a little curious because when people ask me, like, well, how much have you made? I'm like, well, I haven't made anything yet because they know me, but they don't know you. So that's one of the things that
Absolutely.
I'm concerned about.
And that's a very valid concern. That's a very valid concern. But the way that we would fix that would be for you to get started. Because one thing about El Green, it's 1% a day. So if you got started today, tomorrow you'd be able to say, hey, look, I have earned something. And by the end of the week, because our withdrawals are, come in on Fridays, by the end of the week, you would actually be able to demonstrate the fact that you've made a withdrawal, if that's what you choose to do. So all aspects of the program, you would be able to utilize in just less than a 7-day cycle. So have you seen enough to make a decision?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And I heard you mention $500. Is that what you wanted to get started with today?
Yes.
Absolutely. Then let's do it. I'll walk you through the process and send you my link.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So let me as you know, as you can see, she walked her through the process and then she got her to the next step, right? So there's just a little bit of things that I would change, and that's just from me being inside of the 𝐍𝐬 videos, right? So my suggestion is also, if you're going to go into a platform, make sure you're watching all the videos and then getting insight from the videos, right? Even if you haven't done something, like if you haven't done a withdrawal, go ahead and watch that withdrawal video so you know what the process is, so that if the customer has a question, like, hey, let me get back to you right away and watch the video, or hey, let's watch, I'm going to show you this video and you can see the process. If you haven't done it, you can say, hey, you know what, great question, we can, you actually have access to that link that you sent. Let's go ahead and click play on how to withdraw your money, right? And that way, if you haven't, then there's a video for everything on 𝐍𝐬. So if you haven't done something, that's okay, because you can watch the video together, right? And so how I would say that when she asked that question, so I'm going to tell you what I would say when she was asking that question on the 500 gaining 1% every day. How easy is it for me to withdraw, right? And so from what you can tell them is that you're able to make a request to withdraw every day, right? But the withdrawals will only come out one on Friday, right? You can request a withdrawal every day, but your withdrawal will hit your bank account or wherever you're moving it to on Friday. It will pay out on Friday. Right? So then that way, that answers her question of when can she withdraw her money? She can withdraw her ROI, her money at any time. She can request the withdrawal at any time, and it will pay out on each Friday. Once a week.
Okay, got it.
Well,
so, and then also, you know, when she said, I haven't made anything, I love the way you handle that. But you know, me, I would have said, of course you haven't made anything. You haven't even gotten started yet, you know?
You would have been a little bit more emphatic.
Yeah, you know, like I would say, of course you haven't made anything. You haven't gotten started yet. Right? So because sometimes you have to, because I don't know if you've ever like talked to somebody and you're not realizing what you're saying. And then that person is like, huh? Like they turn it around, right? You say, of course, like, because you have a legitimate reason, but then they, like, I always talk to Mr. and Mrs. Bean, and I always have to slap myself because sometimes I say something and just like that, like, oh, well, how are you going to make something if you haven't gotten started? And I'm like, oh, okay, Mr. and Miss Bean, let me just slap myself for saying that, right? Because how am I going to make money when I haven't gotten started yet? Sometimes we need that person on the other side to point a mirror in our face, right? And that's where you are. You can only lead a person if you can point that mirror to help them, not I do it jokingly, right? But not to make them mad, but to make them realize, right? Make them realize, because half of the things that I learned in life, I had to learn now and realize with that mirror that it was the thinking that was limiting me, right? And so we need that mirror, and in order for your prospect to really open up to you, you have to shine the mirror, right? Mr. and Mrs. Bean can't help us get to the other side, help us become better, help us become 360 degrees if they don't point the mirror in our face. So if we love our prospect and we really mean what we say and we want to help them, we have to point the mirror too. That's how they're going to get started, right? Because what they say is not that they're wrong for saying it, right? People who call pyramid schemes are not wrong for saying that's their limiting beliefs. And we have to point the mirror so that they can now be educated enough to know that there's that they can change that limiting belief, right? So, hey, Mr. Earl Beckett, how are you?
One other thing, Angie,
Yes,
I just
yes.
want to thank you for that. But thanks to Miss Laura, I have been able to make a withdrawal. Thanks to her teaching.
Yay. Yes. So, Mr. Earl Becker, I see your hand up, sir. You just hopped on and ready to roll, huh?
Well, no, I've been on the YouTube. I couldn't interact. It was too much noise in the background, etc. So call has been going great. You guys doing a phenomenal job. So I know you want to close it out and teach us. So if I can serve, I will. But if not, I'll just listen.
Absolutely. Sure. What would you like to work on?
PS5.
Perfect.
L Green.
PS5. So let's go ahead. Miss MJ, you had your hand up earlier. So did you want to go ahead and go with Mr. Earl? You want to be his prospect?
I can listen or I can lead. It doesn't matter.
Good morning, everybody. I've had some technical difficulties lately. So it's like I tried to get on the Zoom. I couldn't get on the Zoom. I'll have to redo that. But anyway, not to take up time, but sure, I can work with Mr. Earl.
Okay, would you like to be the prospect or the other, or you want to be doing the PS5 with him?
I'll let him do it because I haven't been around yet.
PS5? Okay, she wants to be the prospect. I have
taken notes, but if he knows it better.
Absolutely. Okay.
So Mr. Earl, you're going to be asking me to join L Green?
I am.
Well, go for it.
All right. And your name again, just want to catch that.
You could just say MJ or Marva, either one.
Okay, good enough. Ring, ring.
Hello, how can I help you? That's how I answer all my calls.
MJ, Earl Beckett.
Oh, hi.
Thank you for taking my call. Look, I know we haven't talked in a while, and we will have an opportunity to catch up later. But check your phone. I just sent you something.
Okay.
Okay. Did you get that?
Oh, what is this?
Well,
what are you into now?
That is the return. It's funny that you would ask. That's the return that I made from this new platform, 1% a day, able to double my investment in a little over 90 days.
Really?
Yes. And I thought about you concerning that.
Oh, that was so kind.
So let me ask you a real quick question.
Go ahead.
Do you have anything in your portfolio of investing that is earning you that kind of return, 1% a day, 6 days a week, able to double your investment in a little over 90 days?
What portfolio? This will be the beginning for me. If you got anything going on.
Okay, great. Well, let me ask you. What would you do if you had that potential?
Oh man, I don't have time for that list. You said this was a 10-minute call. I don't have that kind of time. But to start, I would, probably work on my railings on the house.
You would work on your house?
Yes.
Okay. If you had to put a dollar amount on that, what would that look like?
The first project, probably about $2,500.
25. Okay. You said the first. Give me the second.
I didn't make the list. I didn't know you were even going to call. But,
Well, look, it's on the top of your head because that's the house. I know. If you had to guess at that second, what would that second be?
Getting the inside painted. I've needed that a little bit.
Okay. And what
So
kind of cost on
landscaping.
that? Okay. Landscape inside. Okay.
Let's see, about 6 or 7, I guess, to paint everything and refinish, do some flooring.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. And what kind of timeline are you talking about when it comes to getting those projects done?
Well, when I get around to it, I have one, but it's not paying out. So tell me,
Okay.
so far I have like $1,000 saved towards it.
Okay.
So what is this that you're doing? Can I do it with $1,000? Is that possible?
No question about it. No question about it. So let's do this. Let's jump on a Zoom call. All right. I know.
Okay.
I'll take 2 minutes because I said I have less than 10. Let's take 2 minutes. Let me give you a quick overview of what that $1,000 looks like. 6% a week, and then we can put some timelines around that $1,000 and get that done quicker than you would do without investing that. How's that sound?
6%? What do you mean 6% a week?
Tell you what, check your phone. Let's jump on a Zoom call and let me answer that, because people believe what they see versus what they hear. How about that?
No, I'm just wondering if it's compound. How is that compounded, or is it? Yeah.
I'll show you exactly what that looks like.
Okay.
Let's jump on a Zoom call for about 2 minutes. Let me show you exactly, instead of me giving you the verbal details, let me show you exactly what that looks like and show what $1,000 can do for you.
Okay, that sounds good. Sure.
Okay. Here's the link for the Zoom, and we are on the Zoom.
Okay. That I have not had time to finish working.
That's how you do a PS5, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I just have to learn how to do Zoom. No.
That's a technical
Yeah,
that's
I
a technical
told you.
thing, right? So thank you, Mr. Earl Becker, to show us how the PS5 is done, right? And see, talk about a person who works their muscles, right? He's working this muscle every day, right? Multiple times a day, sharing and doing PS5s, right? Because how smooth was that? How smooth. I love it. From the beginning to all the way to the end, right? He had full control over the call, right? Over leading her. And I'm telling you, she's a tough one. She tried to break it every single time, right? And he did not allow her to do it. And but he didn't do it forcefully, right? So that's how you want to do it. You want to be able to say, no, this is how this call is going to go. And you need to walk your prospect through each and every process of the PS5, because they're going to want to do this and run this and want, like, for instance, right? I love how he was when he was asking her more questions on her financials, right? On what she wanted to do. What is it that you want to do for the investment? And she said, fixing her house, right? And she just said, I don't know. And she gave, excuse of, well, I haven't ever thought about it. And so he could have just stopped it there. No, he didn't, right? He said, well, tell me, and he didn't let her go until she told him, right? And so she did. She finally gave it to him that she's looking for 6 or 7K in order to fix her house. That's the magic number, right? That she needs. So you don't be afraid to get the answer to your questions. Don't let the prospect go without getting the answer that you need, because he's going to need that when he hops on that call, right? That's a very important information that he needs when he hops on that call with her. I love the fact that she kept on trying not to hop on the call. Did you see that? Like, well, answer me this. She just kept on throwing more questions at him or more things instead of hopping on the call. And I love how he came back, right? And said, yeah, that's what I want to show you on the call. And he had to tell her 3 times before she said, all right, let me get on the call. And that's what you have to do. Because honestly, how are you going to explain anything when somebody doesn't see it? So he's just going to waste his time. He's going to waste her time if he continues to just answer her questions without showing her visually, right? Like he said, what you see is what you believe, not what you hear. Because if we hear things and believe that, then people that's not what they do, right? They have to see it for yourself. I have to see it. Let me see the paycheck. Let me see, right? How many people say that? Let me see how much you made, right? And so when he says that people will see it to believe it, then that's true. That's very true. How many people have signed up on something that you've done without seeing anything, without seeing the video, without seeing, they just said, okay, sign me up? Not many, unless you have influence, right? It's probably family and they're like, whatever you're doing, I'm doing. But how many people actually just sign up without seeing something? There's probably 0. Right? So he's, and that's the reason why, and I'm going to go into it because we don't have a lot of time. So I do need to share about cold calls and cold people, because a lot of times they don't know you. So if they don't see something, and you're not going, if you just send a video and they don't interact with you, it's not going to be a close, right? Because they need to see it. They need to see it for themselves, right? So him putting her on that call is actually to not waste both of their time, because she said, I don't have a lot of time to waste. I only have 10 minutes, right? So in order not to waste your time, let's hop on a Zoom, because I can show you in 5 minutes, or you want me to explain in 30 minutes? What would you like? Right? So perfect. Thank you, Mr. O. Beckett, for hopping on and showing us how to do that PS5. So let's go to what I'm going to share with you, right? Miss Leslie Johnson did bring up that point today about cold calls, right? And ever since the GCU program 3 years ago, I have been utilizing this platform and what I've learned on this platform to go out and everybody that knows me, I'm used to be, I guess I could say, right? Angel 1.0 was a very shy, introverted, very green, always researching type of person, you know? And so I was very weary about going out, meeting people, talking to people. I don't know what to say. And so I utilized this platform to, number one, got my confidence up. Number two, to start going out and cold calling prospects. So 3 years of a pipeline. So let me share with you how not only do you want to go through your, call list, but you also want, when you watch Parable of the Pipelines, what other pipeline do you have that's coming in, right? That outside of the people you already know, because sooner or later you're gonna, unless you're adding people to your pipeline of people then there's just your numbers stop, right? So if you're not adding to your pipeline, that means adding people adding people to the people then your pipeline is going to run dry, right? So early on, I decided, okay, I don't know a lot of people. My friend circle is pretty small. If you see me at events on Angel 1.0, I probably didn't talk to you, not because I'm stuck up or something. It's because I'm just shy, right? And I don't know how to approach people, right? So I just sit there in my corner. and just do what I do, right, at events. So, so what you want to do is you want to create your pipeline. So the pipeline is to create new people who are going to come into your circle, right? And so you can use it different ways, right? Some people use LinkedIn. Some people use Facebook. I use Facebook, right? And so you would ask yourself, okay, whatever platform it is that you're doing. So for us, we are doing investments. We're doing passive income streams, correct? So what I do is I say to myself, okay, who for me, okay, so how I work is I like people coming to me versus like me having to come to people, right? Because I'm introverted, right? I like them to so I find people who are readily in search of what I'm giving. I don't like to do the hard work, right? So what you want to do is say, okay, so if you are looking for prospects who want passive income streams, where are you going to look, right? So when I decided that, I said, okay, I'm going to use Facebook, right? And so what I did was, let's just say, and you can do this with anything. I'm just using Facebook because that's what I do, right? So let's go to Facebook. This is my Facebook. Don't judge. I don't have nothing on there. I don't post a lot. So here, what you want to do is, let's say, maybe, let's just say that let's say that I'm in Houston, right? So let's go there. I'm in Houston. So let's say I'm going to be going in. I want to look for groups, right? So what you want to do is, over here, we're going to go groups.
Miss Angel, are you screen sharing?
Oh, shoot. Sorry. That's right. No wonder you cannot see. Thank you, Miss Laura. I'm just going on without screen sharing. Ooh, there it is. Okay. Can you see it now? Oh, can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can see it now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now you're going to groups, right? So let's say I want passive income. Like I'm in Houston, right? And it could be anything. So I'm in Houston. So let's go to I'm a mom and I'm in Houston. Okay, so look, Moms of Houston, right? That one's public. So I stay away from the public sites, really. Public sites are you want to go to private ones, right? Where it's a little bit more public. There's just a lot of spam. And so when you message people, they're automatically thinking that you're spamming them, right? So let's go into one. Let's go into a group that I have. Okay, so let's go into Houston Moms. I'm already in this private group, right? So Houston Moms, here we go. Right? So here we go into Houston Moms, and this is the group. Oh, wait, what happened in mine? I thought it was, oh, no. The other one. Where's the one that, oh, here it is. Houston Moms group I'm in. Okay. So let's say, okay, and you are looking for people who want passive income streams, right? So in this group, I'm going to be searching for passive income. Anybody who wants passive income? Here we go. October. Let's see. We're gonna go to and then you just kind of go down these posts, right? And when you do go into the post, let's see if we can find one. If you can't find one, then we go into, and you see my search, right? So you can search for work from home. right? Those people are looking for income streams from home, right? And you just kind of play around with it. So, let me see. Okay, here we go. So here's one that says, what are some good work from home jobs out there? I'm going to need a part-time to help support my husband. So this person right here is looking for extra income, right? So that's one post. I can reach out to this person and say, hey, I saw your post in the moms group, right? So when you reach out to a person, right, you're gonna want to tell them, number one, why you're reaching out to them. Number two, where you found them, because those are the type of things that people ask on a cold call. How do you know me? How did you find me? And what do you want? Right? Those are the three questions that people, if they don't know you, those are what they want to know before they go to the next step. So when you're reaching out to them, then you're going to say, hey, Presha, I saw you in the Moms of Houston group and you were looking for a part-time income. Are you still looking to add an additional income stream to what you're already doing? So you told her that you saw her in the moms group. You told her from a post that she posted. And then now you're telling her your intention. Right? The reason for your reaching out to her. And then there's another post of this person, whoever anonymous is. And sometimes I will go into these because when you look in the, see, this is the part of work, right? You do have to work to look for it, but I rather look for qualified individuals. Qualified doesn't mean that. Qualified means they're looking, rather than just spamming a whole bunch of people that you don't know whether or not they're looking. Because when you narrow it down to people who are looking, the chances of them hopping on a Zoom to hear what you have to say or watch a video is more likely than a person that you don't know what reason it is, right? So I qualify my individuals, right? So it takes a little bit more work, but you get more out of it, right? More qualified individuals, right? Here we go. And sometimes when you go into these posts, right, there's some people that say, hey, I need information too. Hey, I'm with you, right? Like, see, this person said something about, I have something for you. And then this person said, hey, can I get more information? So that person's looking too. So I'm going to message Anna because Anna's looking, right? I'm going to message so when I go through this, and you can look through different posts, right? There's a lot of people that are looking, right? So you have to do some digging if you want to find qualified people, not just random people, right? And that's the reason why I get more people. And and you go into cold calling, not on the impression that you're going to sign them up right away, right? I've had it happen though, same day, same sign up plenty of times, but you're going in there to enhance your pipeline, because the people who have signed up with me this year have been in my pipeline for 2 to 3 years or 1 year since I started this. And they just kind of watch me through the process. And each time they're getting closer, we're getting closer, they're learning about me, right? And I'm learning about them. And finally, when they feel like they can trust me enough to sign up is when they will do it, right? And that's just the process, right? So think about that. if you're reaching out to these people and these people are looking, we got qualified people looking, not just random people that we're cold calling. Qualified people looking for something to do. You know exactly what they need. They need to support their husband part-time. They're giving you what it is that they need 𝐍𝐬 to do for them. Well, what if just that extra, instead of leaving that 500 in the bank, you can actually put the 500 into 𝐍𝐬 and make 1,000 in 4 months? What will that do for you without you having to change anything? Now, if you decide to refer, you can get that faster. Get there faster. Right? I have team members that refer and they're able to double their money in like 2 weeks. Already. They didn't have to wait that 4 months. Now that's an option. You don't have to. You just leave it in and just leave it in there. But if you want to get to your goal faster, just share. How many people want to make 1% a day? Right? And then, so that's if you do the hard work in the beginning, instead of just looking for people who you don't know if they're looking or not, it's going to cut down your time and your ratio of how many people are going to hop on. So let's say you do 10 people a day. You reach out to 10 people a day. 10 people a day, what? In 365 days a year, right? You have 3,650 people, right? 3,650 people that you reached out, just doing 10 a day, finding 10 of these people a day. Let's just say one of them signed up out of 10. Let's just say one of them actually watched a video. Let's go even further than that. Let's go one of them watched a video out of 10. That's 300, right? 365 new people in your pipeline that have connected with you. And now it's just a matter of when will they get started? When will they feel comfortable enough to get started with you? Right? How much would that, how much business would that explode? Right? Any business needs a pipeline. It needs people coming in, right? Your business has to be open for people to come in. So if you're adding 365 new people to your pipeline every day, I'm not counting the 10 that you send out, because one person will probably maybe give you a time of day until you get better. Right? And even if that one person, that's 365 people that you're adding every year. Every year. So that's minimum. So I do about 20 to 30 every day. So I've got loads of people in my pipeline for the last 3 years. Right? It gets to where you can't even follow up with them enough because there's so many in your pipeline to follow up with. And that's how you keep on growing your business and keep on growing more people into your pipeline, right? It's that constant every single day, whether I felt like it or not. And do you know how long it takes me to send 20 to 30 messages out? 1 hour a day. That's it. 1 hour a day, grow my pipeline. Whatever anybody else is doing, 1 hour I'm going to take, and I'm going to go through this. I'm going to find some feeds, and I'm going to send out 20 to 30 a day. And if you do 20 or 30 a day, what if 5 or 6 come back in the same day? That's how you guys were wondering how I can do 4 to 8 Zooms a day. That's how I do 4 or 8 Zooms a day. Because all those people, once you start collecting that pipeline, sooner or later, you're going to have Zooms booked every single day because those people are going to come back every single day and want Zooms. But I love 𝐍𝐬 because we don't always have to have Zooms. The only Zoom we really have is to sign up. So I love that. I send the videos. So 𝐍𝐬 makes it a lot easier for us, right? Very simple and simplistic and no need to follow up. So does anybody have any questions out there? For those who are in the, I'm gonna, what time? Oh, we're past time, so I don't want to keep you all. But for those who are in the Grant Cardone Academy, I will send you my cold call scripts. I will give that to Mr. Bean and have him, if he approves it, then you will get my cold call scripts for being in the program and helping us to grow other people. So I will send that to Mr. Green, my code call scripts, I would say. Yes. So you will get that from Mr. Bean once he gets back, and I will send you my code call scripts. That's been working for me for the last 3 years. Any questions before we end?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. I want to thank you so much, Miss Angel, for opening up us to, the world of cold calls. That's an area that I definitely need to strengthen. And, the perfect rationale about being able to continually expand my pipeline. So I am ecstatic and excited about this information. And I just want to thank you so much for it and showing the real value of participating in the Grant Cardone University, because now we're going to get that information. We got an inside track. And so it's added value to be part of the Grant Cardone program. So thank you so very much.
You're very, very welcome. And you have to thank Mr. and Mrs. Bean, because without them and without them growing me to that point that I have that type of information and that type of growth to share with you all. So it's actually my honor and privilege to be able to give back what was given to me, right? In any shape or way or form that I can. So thank you all for being on this call. I really appreciate you. Hope I was able to give you some great information so that you can now go out and rock that 𝐍𝐬 business, because I'm telling you, from everybody they're loving it, and the simplicity of it and keeping it simple. In life, there's just so many things that are so complicated. And so let's go out there and, get this money, ladies and gentlemen, and grow our portfolios. This is something that I really appreciate you all for taking the time on a Saturday morning, right? 8 o'clock in the morning to get in, and we know how serious you are to get up and be here on this call, whether on Facebook or in here, for you to spend that 8 to 10 on a Saturday morning means that you're serious, and I'm glad to be seriously here to help you all grow as well. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic Saturday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Have an awesome Saturday.